Hey everybody, it's Mauler, and we are here in Abedju, which is the final economic mission of the Archaic period. It's boat time. We need 2,500 people, 25 for culture and prosperity ratings, and we need to build 2 small mastabas and 1 medium mastaba. But this is the fun part of the mission. We get to do fishing boats, and we get to build a little bit of a navy. We're not going to go too crazy, and hopefully we can avoid these crocodiles. It's a pretty interesting map. We're going to have to use both shores of the river. Fishing is concentrated right here, so we're going to have to get creative. For food and for farming, we can, of course, fish. We can grow barley, and we can grow flax. We can use that barley and that flax to make beer and make linen. We can make our own bricks, but we need to import straw and clay. Things are simple with the gods. We have Osiris, so hopefully we'll be taking advantage of the blessings to increase our barley and flax production because we don't have a lot of floodplains on this map. I'm going to try to get a medium senator block on each side of the river, and we'll get a small senator block here in the fishing area. I want not a lot of traveling to go on, so I think I'm going to cross the river as soon as I can here, because we're going to be bringing fish over here, we're going to be bringing fish over here, and we'll try to figure out what side of the river is best for everything that we're going to do. Let's check out the world map to see what kind of economy we're going to have. Byblos is our source of wood, a source of copper. We'll probably open them up when we're ready to start the navy. Timna buys beer, linen, and papyrus. They're a source of copper and a source of clay. They're a land route. We'll open them now. Perwadjet doesn't buy anything, but they do sell a lot of things that we'll need for the monument. Menefer doesn't sell anything we want, but they do buy beer. They're a land route. I think we'll open them. Nope is a source of things for the monument. We'll probably open them when we're ready to start making bricks. Bedet sells reeds and clay. They buy a lot of linen. We have a lot of reeds for sale on this map. I think I might do something different. I'm going to open them, and I'll explain why. Previous times that I've played this mission, I've struggled to set up reed gathering over here, bring them across the river, make papyrus, and sell them. The little patch of reeds here isn't going to support 2,500 papyrus a year, but I'm thinking with all the reeds we have available, it'll just be worth it to import our own reeds and completely ignore this. So our early economy is going to be to export beer, import reeds to make our own papyrus, and export papyrus. With the trade routes we have open, we can sell 5,000 beer and 2,500 papyrus. So I think in the early part of the mission, we'll concentrate on setting up the fishing area so we can feed everybody. And we'll start a beer and papyrus industry on the south side of the river using these fields to produce barley. So I've let the game run just a scooch in order to show you where the fish are jumping. If you watch the map, you'll see that the fish will jump in certain areas, and that's where you can send your fishing boats to collect the fish. And you can see that it's the only places on this whole entire map where the fish are jumping. And that's why I don't want to do fishing wharves up here or up here, because the boats will have to travel all the way down river in order to access the fish. Then they'll have to travel all the way back up to the fishing wharves. It's very inefficient. So if you are setting up fishing on a map, you're going to want to build your fishing wharfs close to where the fish are, and then you're going to want a spot close by those fishing wharfs for the dock workers to dump the fish. And that's why we're going to set up a small senator block down here, along with all of our fishing wharves and a granary. And then we'll set up a granary on this side of the river to go get that fish, and a granary over here by our other housing block to get that fish. In terms of ferry placement, I want it as close to the fishing area as I can get it, and I want them to have a short swim. That hopefully will be efficient. We'll want our south dock here. We'll need a shipwright right off the bat if we're going to do fishing. And we'll want to send an industry area down. And this will be for our beer and papyrus work camp. We're going to put the barley here. And this little area here, I think, is where we're going to put our first senator block. Make sure that we keep everybody in the block. And these will be the services to go up here towards the Navy area and to supply the industry area. Want to get those barley farms down. Don't have room for a lot. 6 should probably work. I'm going to put down the beer and pottery warehouse here. I think I'm going to do pottery on the other side of the river, so we'll get 1/4 of a yard and bring it across the river, just so the bazaar ladies don't have to cross. And we'll accept 3/4 of a yard of beer here. We'll have a storage yard that brings in reeds and accepts papyrus for sale. And then I'm going to want to have some storage for excess barley. We'll accept 1/2 a yard here, and later on when we do the military and the Navy, we'll accept our copper and our wood here. This warehouse will get fish. We'll leave room for a dance school and a musician school here. And we need 5 papyrus makers. And we need 10 breweries. We'll need a work camp for the fields. We can probably put a juggler's school right here as well. Let's finish off the medium senator block. I'll switch the police station with the courthouse later, but right now this is just cheaper. Now this house is our most important house because it's going to supply all of our employment. And then we'll just set up the rest of the housing. And I think we're done here. Let's go set up the fishing area. It's 12. And we'll set up the small senator block in that corner. And we'll want our accepting granary close to all the fishing wharves. We'll accept fish there. And I'm just going to finish setting up this small block. And I am close to the reeds on this end of the map, so I'll put an apothecary down. Before I go live, I think I'd like to get down a festival to Osiris and start taxing people as well. So let's get down the village palace. We'll leave room for the personal mansion. We'll get this festival off while it's relatively inexpensive, and that'll get the blessing train rolling. We'll want to switch this dock onto trade reeds because our reeds are coming in by water. The beer and the papyrus, I believe, are being sold by land. And the more I look at this, the more I don't like it. I'm going to move these 2 breweries down here, just so I can get the work camp a little closer to the fields. And we'll stick that juggler school right here by the dance school and keep the entertainment schools together. In fact, I'm just going to waste a little bit of money for the sake of art, and I'm going to put that brewery back here just so it's all together. And I think we can go live. I'm going to put hygiene and food and farming on #1 focus to start here, just so we can get as much barley off of here as we can. going to set up a roadblock here, and I'm going to set up a roadblock here, just to make it easy for these guys to get to the village palace and not get confused trying to leave town through the festival square. There's our festival. Our water carrier has been making his rounds. And we have guys out on the field. We do have guys calling for boats. This is probably some reeds. We got a bit of barley off the fields. Our flood was way sooner than I thought. I was expecting to get to like August or September, but that was an early flood and we didn't get much of a flood. Unless it's still coming. That was pretty crappy inundation. So beer might be pretty sick for a little while. I'm glad we got that festival to Osiris off. Hopefully we'll be able to get some good Osiris blessings. Reeds is coming good, so at least we'll have papyrus to sell early. What was that blessing? Okay, good. So we'll get an improvement on the flood next time. So that festival is going to pay off. Work camp workers are back on the fields. 6% fertile. We're not going to get a lot of barley off that field. So our beer economy is going to be pretty poor for a while. We need 211 workers. I'm just going to turn beer off. Let that barley build up a little bit and get some employment out to some other areas. I believe that's our first fishing boat. So a bit of a slow start. You can see how the boat goes straight to the fishing ground from this dock here. Very quickly gets to the warehouse, very quickly gets back out to the fishing ground. So we got a second inundation blessing from Osiris. Yeah, we should be back to full fertility. Haven't gone into debt yet, but we have used our reserve funds. That was triggered while we were setting up this small block down here. 2 fishing boats are active. A third one is coming online. We're only short 4 workers, so that's good. We have papyrus for sale, and it looks like we probably made some sales. So should start thinking about getting set up on the other side of the river. So I'm going to have to do linen bricks and pottery on this side. I'm going to turn beer back on. Our demons are coming up. Well, now I am glad we set up the beer industry. I'm going to stockpile beer. And I'm going to unstockpile beer. Game on pause. I'm just going to quickly set up the roads in the housing block for the north side of the river. We'll want to get a granary down. It's going to go and get fish from the other side of the river. Shipwright has just made our last fishing boat. So our fishing industry is fully online. When this gets employment, we'll check to see if our distribution system is working across the river. Doesn't look like he's sending anybody out. I'm just going to destroy the ferries and put them back down. That didn't help. Just going to rebuild it from scratch. Still isn't sending anybody. Sometimes the ferries don't work if you don't connect them at exactly the point they want. Oops, we've got a brick gift coming. Let's get a storage yard down. Hopefully it gets employed in time. And we'll have to rejig this ferry here. We did manage to get it. Looks like we got storage yards working now. So we're going to want to get a linen industry going. There's a crocodile there. Just going to save and reload and see if that corrupted tile goes away. And it did. So that's good to know, because I wouldn't want to end up with a bunch of corrupted tiles around here and be unable to place down my building. So that's two problems we've had to deal with in the last minute or two. Our problem with our ferry not working, and problem with building placement over phantom crocodiles. I'm going to set up the farming. And we should be able to get our linen started. Need a storage yard for it. I think I'm going to put a whole storage yard down for flax. Because of my restart, I'm going to hold a festival to Osiris, just in case I lost the blessing train. We're going to need a dock. Before I forget, we're going to have to make sure none of this burns or falls down. We want the dock doing clay and bricks and straw and linen. There's 12 weavers down. So hopefully that's it for interference from the crocodiles. We have a corrupted tile here too. I think I might get the entertainment down, at least the pavilion for everybody in the main blocks. Bandstand in the other. Might do the 2 cheaper schools first. And I'm gonna have to sell linen. Gonna lay down the monuments. And start working on bricks, I guess. A lot of corrupted spots again. I guess I'm gonna do another reload. This is gonna be messy with all of the reloads. Editing is gonna be a pain in the butt. So this will be for clay. I guess we'll deliver that. This will be for straw. We'll want to bring those in. We're going to have to open a trade route for the straw. Set up our last storage yard. We're going to accept 3/4 of a yard of pottery and get a 1/4 yard of beer. And I think we're going to start exporting beer over 800, just so there's always some in the north yard. And then we've just got to get our festival up, since we probably lost the blessing train. And we'll get some brickmakers down. Soak up some of the unemployment. There's 10. And we'll start working on the potters as well. And we'll go 4 for now. And we'll see what we're doing with employment later. We can always add more of them. We don't have room for that, but we might if we use up these bricks here. Just going to put this flax one on to accept bricks for a second. Oh, we're too late. No, we're not too late. Our food plan is going very well. We've got full granaries. Working on the monument. And our economy is doing well too. I think we'll start importing bricks. Set this storage yard to buy pottery. Then we're going to finish off this storage or this housing block. think we'll buy beer here as well and see if that's as high as we're gonna have to go for population in this town. We'll maul molars. And we'll get down the rest of our entertainment venues. I'll put the courthouse here just so it looks finished. Even if we don't give pottery and beer here. We're gonna have to start working on that military, I think. I have to start bringing wood and copper in. Maybe I'll just pause it and set that up. But first we'll give this housing block beer and pottery. We'll do a recruiter. We'll do a weaponsmith. And I think we'll plan for 2 forts, so we'll need 2 transports. And I think we'll just do 3 warships. And that should be good enough for our military. We'll get 2 infantry forts. And we'll go open up Byblos. And we'll bring in some copper. And some wood. And I think the city is on autopilot. We need 144 workers. "11 shrines and 3 temples should be fine. And we'll want to make sure that this is doing copper and wood, or we're not going to get anything going with the military. And I think we'll just speed things up. So Abedju is done, except to finish the monuments. We've met all our requirements. Our navy's being built. We have a soldier in the fort. Hopefully we didn't leave the military going till too late. We've just got the big mastaba to go. Beginning to wonder if we were going to be able to meet that request. %87 complete on the big mastaba. So we'll just be cruising out to the end of this mission. We could really use those. We should be close to the end. We are at the end.
Pharaoh smiles at your accomplishments. You have made the most of what the river and sea have to offer, defending our borders with a small but capable fleet of ships. You have also honored the nobility by providing them with tools to house their bodies.
110 months. It was a fun little mission. I'm not going to complain about it. It was nice to build some bigger monuments. It was nice to get some use out of the medium senator block, which we don't usually get to use very much, more in the early missions than in the later ones. Never did get called out for any military assistance anywhere and never got any attacks, so bear that in mind when you play. We had a little bit of trouble with our ferry not working, and we had a lot of trouble with corrupted tiles from the crocodiles. We managed to work around that by saving and reloading. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.